Hello and welcome to the Field Report. I'm Army Sergeant Mitch Ternay. 1st Corps Headquarters held a ceremony to welcome the 7th Infantry Division's new commander to Joint Base Lewis McChord. Major General Stephen Lanza takes command of the division headquarters after serving as the Army's Chief of Public Affairs. The division will oversee JBLM's 3 Stryker Brigade combat teams, a Combat Aviation Brigade, and a Fires Brigade, giving them the opportunity to train and ensure readiness for approximately 17,000 soldiers.
The opportunity is that the United States Army gets an 11th Division, and this installation gets a headquarters to command and control these great combat brigades. And then more importantly, we re-honor the legacy and the lineage of the 7th Infantry Division in honoring those who have served before us.
Some soldiers don't get a lot of time to train in a field environment because of their unit's demanding support role. So I tagged along with a support company that's using this uncommon opportunity to sharpen their soldier skills.
Whether they're combat arms or support, soldiers always train hard. And that's why soldiers from the 593rd Sustainment Brigade Special Troops Battalion are training for convoy operations at the Yakima Training Center. The unit trained on vehicle recovery, engaging the enemy, and reacting to improvised explosive devices. The STB is made up of mostly administrative and postal clerks, though some soldiers originally came from combat MOSs. Staff Sergeant Coyd Light, a former combat engineer, was glad to share his experience and expertise on explosives with his unit.
That's the whole reason I'm an NCO, is welfare of the soldiers and to train them. I've been doing it for over 9 years, and I love every minute of it.
Light went on to explain that to effectively train the soldiers, he needs to put them in scenarios they aren't used to.
This is not their norm. This is not their comfort zone. We're taking them out of their comfort zone, and we're going to teach them the other side of the Army that they don't normally see.
The 593rd is the most deployed brigade on JBLM, so they strive to stay vigilant and well-trained to be able to handle any mission.
The Army's non-commissioned officer corps is known as the backbone of the Army, from the newly promoted corporal to command sergeant major. Army Sergeant Chris Hammond shows us how soldiers learn what it means to join the ranks of the NCO.
Exercise.
There's the physical readiness training, the classroom,
can you bend your elbow for me?
And combat. A JBLM Henry H. Lind Warrior Leader Academy Commandant, Command Sergeant Major Matt Shepardson, feels the key in developing strong and confident NCOs is leadership.
I mean, NCO is a leader. I mean, the bottom line is this: if you take 100 average Americans and you bring them and put them in front of a group of soldiers and you say, pick out the leader, they're going to pick out the soldier that's got the stripes on.
Earning those stripes encompasses how a leader can read and react on the battlefield, as well as take care of soldiers off the battlefield.
The next number is...
The total solar concept is probably the most important thing that we do here at the NCO Academy. Not just be able to combat soldier, not be just a cook.
We're going to move back on this road down here. We're going to take a right on the hardball. We're going to head
and that's for the soldiers to learn to think outside the box and to be a more fluid leader in the Army.
All right, Bravo team.
The JBLM Warrior Leader course maintains the NCO tradition by making sure their students strive to remain technically and tactically proficient and that they are aware of their role as future non-commissioned officers.
Warrior Leader course class 0091213.
Reporting from Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington, I'm Army Sergeant Chris Hammond.
You don't normally find people job hunting at a ballpark, but as service members walked through the gates at Safeco Field, they were preparing themselves for the job offer they'd always dreamed of after leaving the military. Army Sergeant Ashlyn Ferguson takes us to an event dedicated to opportunities such as this.
Leaving the service can be a difficult change for some service members, so the Warrior Transition Battalion partners with Hire America's Heroes to help ease the transition from the military to the civilian world. Hire America's Heroes is a nonprofit corporation connecting America's major companies with service members and their families.
Our mission is to heal our soldiers as well as to transition our soldiers, whether it be transitioning them out into the civilian sector or back into the military sector. But inevitably, everybody's going to leave the service at one point in time.
Hire America's Heroes sets up stations to offer service members an opportunity to speak one-on-one with possible employers, from public companies as well as government agencies. Soldiers also sit down with trained professionals in job readiness to perfect their resume. Having a good resume plays a key role in the employment process.
I'm going to take advantage of everything I do have, and even talking to other people that had nothing to do with law enforcement, they still gave me a lot of very good, sound advice.
Prince not only walked away with a few job offers, he also left with an opportunity to expand his job search and perfect his craft. For the Field Report, I'm Army Sergeant Ashlyn Ferguson.
Coming up, we'll show you how units are finding new ways to train soldiers for combat.
On May 2, 1968, near Loc Ninh, Vietnam, Master Sergeant Roy P. Benavidez, a Texas native of Mexican descent, rushed to the aid of a team of fellow Special Forces soldiers surrounded by the enemy. Despite being wounded 37 times, Sergeant Benavidez saved the lives of at least 8 of his comrades. For his actions, Sergeant Benavidez was presented the Medal of Honor by President Ronald Reagan. Master Sergeant Roy Benavidez, a proud member of the United States Army's Hispanic heritage.
Welcome back. Physical training, ruck marches, and weapons ranges aren't the only ways that First Corps soldiers are preparing for the battlefield. Army Sergeant Peter Holzer tells us about a program that's helping service members learn the mental aspects of being a soldier.
There was once a time when a soldier's physical fitness and tactical skills were the primary focus of Army training. In today's Army, a soldier's mental, emotional, and spiritual fortitude have become just as important.
All type of things happen in life. If a soldier is not resilient or able to deal with whatever adversity or challenge that they may have, then they're not going to be productive soldiers. They're not going to be effective.
Master Resiliency Training, or MRT, is part of the Comprehensive Soldier Fitness Program. Its goal is to help soldiers, family members, and Army civilians prepare for the mental and emotional rigors of Army life by arming them with a new skill set.
The most important thing with building the mind is controlling your thoughts. 80% of those 70,000 is negative. So if you can control your thoughts from being negative or counterproductive, turn those thoughts into positive, then you're going to react positive, or your emotions are going to be positive.
There are 7 basic skills taught in MRT, each skill set building on the one preceding it. The training is a quarterly requirement for soldiers, and many of them find that the lessons they learn can be useful in non-combat situations as well.
Since we're surrounded by so much negative in the world, I'm a more positive person because of this course. All these thoughts, they're sticking. When life happens, events, it don't really bother me because I control my thoughts. You walk around like this every day. Are you resilient? Are you effective?
For the Field Report, I'm Army Sergeant Peter Holzer.
School is back in session, and as parents readied their children, they also had to ready their pocketbooks. With rising school supply costs and growing supply lists, back to school can break the bank. Army Sergeant Chad Guthrie tells us about a program that helped local families keep some money in their wallets.
Military families line the sidewalk at Clover Park Technical College in Lakewood, Washington for Operation Homefront, an annual program that collects donations from the local community and gives it to qualified military families.
We are passing out backpacks to 800 families who registered, and then we have about 300 families who are on the wait list. The backpacks are stuffed full of supplies that were donated by the Dollar Tree.
The main reason for this event is to relieve financial burdens some service members with children may face.
I heard one parent saying, my kid's stuff is going to be a total of $130, so it's going to take some of that weight off of what they need to supply. They're starting off the school year on the right foot.
For Jessica Garner, a spouse of a deployed soldier, this program not only saves her money, but also gives her peace of mind.
Well, it just shows that there's somebody out there that cares, that there might be other women in my situation, and they were able to take away some of the stress.
You can log on to www.operationhomefront.net to learn more about the upcoming events. There you go. Programs like Operation Homefront show how communities come together to support the troops. For the Field Report, I'm Army Sergeant Chad Guthrie.
That does it for this edition of the Field Report. I'm Army Sergeant Mitch Turnay. Thanks for watching.